Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn with the Active Trend Traders for the Friday edition of How to Make Money Trading Stocks. As we say in Hawaii, aloha, and welcome to the Pauhana edition. In other words, Pauhana means we're done with work and we're moving into the weekend, and so we like that. Joining us from Switzerland is Michael Bishop today. Michael, how are you?
Great.
Excellent. And so,
Except this tax thing.
yeah. Michael, you mentioned the taxes thing, and for the longest time, I thought that people in the U.S. were the only people who paid taxes, but I know that's not true. But yeah, I finished my taxes actually last Saturday, and so got them in. I hope everybody else got theirs in, or at least got their extension in as necessary.
I think, my experience is more, it's quite the other way as you would think. In the countries where you pay the most taxes, the administration is pretty simple, whereas in Switzerland you pay relatively little taxes, but the system is horrible. I mean, you have to do all by yourself because of this data secrecy.
So do they have a like in the U.S., a lot of people use things like Quicken's TurboTax, their own personal tax program that figures it all out for them. Do they have a TurboTax European version?
A Swiss version, yeah, there are different softwares around, but at the end, I mean, it's a highly inefficient process,
Okay.
and the only people making profit from it are all these little and bigger tax advisors.
Roger that. So hey, let's get
And I
going.
think, yeah,
Yeah, let's get
yeah,
going. We've got we want to basically keep this to 10 to 15 minutes
yeah.
in the interest of everybody's time. So remember, all materials that were presented here are for training purposes only. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. There's a little bit about the motto of the Active Trend Traders: to clarify, simplify, and multiply. There's a little bit about what I've done with my life so far. I had a really good time. Celebrated my 43rd wedding anniversary yesterday with my lovely bride of 43 years, and so we went to a real nice Italian restaurant down here in just a few miles away from the house. So what are we going to cover? We're going to do market overview, stocks, ETFs that are either setting up. If you're on the Monday um, um, end of market Mondays that we've been doing on Mondays, you were provided at least the tickers for these stocks that have taken off this week, and so we'll be covering that real quickly. So remember, you have been given the keys. Now learn to open the door. So here's where we're sitting as of about 9 o'clock this morning. The Dow, S&P, everything was up. And basically the Russell has returned to being up for the year, although it's still down from its high from last year. We had some really good gains in active trend trading this week due to, and this captures all the both the book gains and the paper gains that are currently on the books. And so let's take a look. Let's get over to the S&P. What is the S&P doing? As we chatted earlier on Friday, we identified this trading channel, and the question was, what was it going to do when it got back up to the top? If it's at the top, the past 1, 2, 3 times it is broached that top, it just Pinocchioed its nose above it and then pulled back into it. As you can see, the TSI, which is a momentum indicator, along with the momentum indicator and the market forecast. Okay, the market forecast, the longer term momentum actually turned up. And so so we'll sit there and wonder, is it going to break back through this trend line and move on up to at least, maybe approach the past high from this swing high here that was on the 5th of April. And as I can see, it is just still working within this, index or within this channel. Now on a weekly basis, we do not, the TSI is still pointing down, looking weak. Momentum is pointed down, and the longer term momentum on the market forecast is also pointing down. We're working with this channel. This could be a flag. And it is not trying to break out at this time. It tested it. I mean, tested it almost to the penny today, up at the trend line, and then pulled back from that. Tested it yesterday, stuck its head above, pulled back into it. And so the question is, will it hold this time and then push us back down towards the bottom of the channel to do some more consolidation? We'll see. NASDAQ, which was the strongest of the indexes this past week, pushed on up to, approaching the past highs. Actually, I think we did get a close at a new high yesterday, but it too is stuck and basically just hasn't reversed hard down. None of the indexes have really reversed hard down. And as you can see, I want to point this out. Let me get my drawing tool up here. Is on a weekly chart. Take a look at this. While the momentum is trending down, the momentum on the market forecast is trending down, and TSI is trending down, it's kind of a gradual little melt-off. And the price action on the NASDAQ, at least, even though the momentum is falling, the price action has been basically pretty stable on the NASDAQ. That's one of the reasons why we opened the position in TQQQ, which is the 3-time leveraged index ETF for the NASDAQ. It emulates the QQQs, but it has a 3-time leverage value. And we opened a position in that, I believe it was on Tuesday morning, and we got a nice run up to resistance. Took some profit off the table because we hit resistance, and that's what I'm finding right now, Michael, is that the market is trading between fairly defined levels of support and resistance, and so the patient trader waits for it to hit, waits for price action to hit one of those levels, and then takes action at that point. And I know you trade the indexes some, right?
Yeah, and so my focus is always premium selling.
Okay.
Especially in the current times where I don't see a clear trend anymore.
Okay, and so you sell premium what, on the spiders or the IWM or the Dow? Or are you doing the index selling against the straight index?
Well, I discovered the best results. So if you specialize on premium selling, you should have you should not be too focused on just indices. And currently, I'm relatively big in Euro,
okay,
and Europe.
Okay.
ETFs and FXE as the currency ETF.
Okay.
And also all the major indices. So
okay.
SPY plus the 30 years notes.
Okay. Yeah, so
so currently we have lots of volatility, which we haven't had for 6 months. So I'm more in than usually.
Okay. Well, when the volatility goes up, if you're a premium seller, you love that kind of position, and you use the use the technicals to help you in and out of trades. And here's TQQ. This is what I was talking about. We got in TQQ down here on the 18th, down at about 85.50-ish. We got a nice little run up, and took off part of the position at just as approaching this level at 88. We got at 88.50-ish. So about a 3% gain. Not big gain, but I'm not going to fight and I'm not going to argue with this level of resistance. And so it's better sometimes to just take a real quick gain and then on half the position and then wait and see what the rest of the position does. Okay, Russell is still looking very interesting to me. It seems like it's trying to wake up. We'll see if that, that happens. It is moving within basically a horizontal range now. And so for the Russell, we're looking at support down here at about 1340 down to about 1336. And then we're looking at resistance that starts at about 1390, runs all the way up to, a little bit above 1400. I like the Russell. It's looking more, I hate to use the word progressive, but it's looking more positive in that, check this out, the TSI is now ticked up for the week. So that's a good positive sign for the long term, or at least for that it may get some more upside kick. And it's holding up fairly well. So I like the Russell. I like the Nasdaq, the S&P. Not so much. Not that I don't like it. It's just that I believe the others are more programmed to move to the upside. Here we go. The stocks above the 20-day moving average, or correction, percentage of stocks above the 20-day moving average on the NYC. Right now, this indicator that we use to trigger some of our, or at least alert on some of our early warning trades, has not triggered. It is in no man's land. It basically, there's no news here. We're interested in it when it gets down here. Now, those of you who are early warning alert members, you were able to, we've sent out a courtesy alert to say, hey, we're getting into TQQ for a short run, and so I hope you took advantage of that. Here's what happened. Okay, here are the entities that we identified on Monday: WB, COM, AEIS, TQQ, FAS, UPRO, TNA. Well, we already had an open position in WB. We closed out one half of that today for a 4% gain, and it continued to rally and move higher. We'll take a look at that chart shortly. TQQ closed out half of that for a 3% gain, and the remainder is up about 3.6. COM opened at 40.58. FAS opened at 42.54. And those two were up when I took, when I printed this chart. Tesla is still, I'm still looking at this to be able to apply all three strategies that we use in the active trend trading system. It has a measured upside target of $330, but it also has a institutional targeted upside of in excess of $360. Tesla is kind of, if you want to learn how to trade just straight technicals, Tesla provides a great opportunity, and it moves a lot every week. And so if you're trying to learn how to trade options, you can, I would not buy a lot of contracts, but you can experiment with one in your paper account first to see what happens with that. But you can also do that same thing in trading the leveraged index ETFs also. But Tesla, again, it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. So the reality of trend trading, one is you got to know the trend, and then let that then define your areas of interest or areas of value where you want to take action. Define the triggers, and then stick with those. Strategy used, and the targets. The training that we provided with the active trend trading system over the last 6 months, we've brought that forward to where our triggers are pretty rock solid. I think they're really rock solid. The people who are utilizing them are basically, at least the emails that I get back, people are saying, hey, I'm using these triggers even if it's not in a stock that I'm looking at, and it's working out for them exceptionally. I think, Eric, you're one of the big guys, and Dorothy's one of the big ladies who is really following that. And so that's an excellent thing. Let's take a look at, here's where we're sitting with, this is what we have cashed out, profits we've taken off the table already, thus for this year. And the strategy 3, which is our wealth and income building strategy, we have about, I want to say, about $27,000 of our portfolio applied to this. It's up 39.82% for the year so far. And the thing that's funny is a lot of those gains are along with the premium we've collected. Plus, we've gotten some excellent upside moves on Tesla. I mean, from when we first got into the position. So before I sign off and before Michael and I sign off, I want to go really quickly back to the charts. And let's take a look, and I want to take a look at where we were and where we are. Here is WB. Okay, WB, as you can see, it broke its basically downtrend line, very positive, and it broke it out on average volume that was slightly above average yesterday, right about average today. We got into the WD trade, I want to say, back here around off of this candle here. So we got in here on the 11th and stuck with it. And what triggered us in? We had a tick up on the TSI. We had a green candle closing above a red dot, and that was our trigger to say, okay, hey, go ahead and enter a trade. We entered the trade the next day, and then we basically, it had its machinations around for the, last couple of few days, but then it finally took off yesterday, and now it's caught a bid. The way I'm going to treat WB right now, took half the profits off, and now I'll be looking to say, okay, I will break the rest of the trade a little bit better than break even, because if it does fall down below this low, I still want to be able to be profitable on that. But I'm looking for now a pull back into the 820 and then a rebound back up. As you can see, it got right into that resistance zone, sold off. Let's take a look at TQQ. TQQ, we took this tick up on the 17th. The next day we entered a trade, and that alert went out to everybody after hours so that you could be ready for it. We went out on after hours on 4/17 so everybody could be ready on 4/18. It has ticked up. We took off some of the profits as it approached this resistance line, and which was good, and then it pushed on a higher today. And I think we actually took off the profits yesterday because it got above that, and we sold out at 88.50 on partial position. FAS has been a little bit of the lagger. Got right back up into the 50-day moving average. I'd like to see it bust through, but it too, we took, this was the trigger on the 17th. That was the entry on the 18th. It did tick on up. Would like to, but it got into that resistance and then is selling off. What I will do on this, if you're following this trade, is I'll basically draw a trend line under here, and if it drops that trend line, I'm out of the position. It means that the financials are just not ready to rock and roll yet. And the last one, I think that's it, COM. Basically, similar situation, tick up, green above red, entered on this day. It went on, making a nice run yesterday on some increasing volume, getting a little bit of a sell-off today, but right back into the 8-day moving average. Those who want to be really aggressive, you can say, hey, I'm going to add in the rest of my position and make it a full position. At that point, I'm just going to stick with what we have because of the market uncertainty. So let's see. So that covers what happened last week. And Michael, I am going to go back here. Thanks for joining us today and making some input. And I just want to remind everybody, have a great weekend. And if you're a premium member, we'll be doing the final hour of trade. And hope you enjoy that. And we'll be talking about the potential of entering some strategy 3 and also evaluating more closely the trades that we did this past week. So you can find us on Facebook at the Active Trend Trading page, or Twitter at twitter.com/trend_DWW. So with that, have a absolutely fabulous weekend, everybody. God bless, and aloha from Hawaii. We'll see you Monday. Michael, thanks a lot for joining.
Well, thanks you, Dennis. And don't forget, Sunday elections in France, and we will see if afterwards volatility collapses or not.
Aha! Okay, I'll be keeping my eye on that. So God bless everybody. Good day.
Okay, bye.